This is News 6 Tonight.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to News 6 Tonight. This is the Tuesday edition. We're just rolling right on through the week. It is great. I love when we start a day and you think you know what your lead story is. We laugh in the face of news sometimes because the day started one way, and by the time we got on air, we did the show at 4 as planned, and then by 5 o'clock, stuff started hitting the fan. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
Yeah, good to have you with us tonight. I'm Matt Austin. It's one of those days where actually our lead story was different from show to show because depending on what broke at what time, some things were a bigger deal.
This is why I love news.
Yeah.
It keeps you on your toes.
The same day
Yeah.
when you come into work in this amazing newsroom here at News 6. And it is also a very rare day when a sitting congressman has a restraining order placed against him. I've been in the business 20 years. I've never seen this before.
First time that I've heard about it too. We covered what was happening. Like, it seemed like a while ago and you forget about it.
It's been a tumultuous year for Congressman Corey Mills up in D.C. His ex-girlfriend, Lindsay Langston, who, by the way, is the reigning Miss United States, says he threatened her. In fact, threatened to release compromising videos of her. And today a judge sided with her and allowed her to have an injunction. Our investigator, Mike DeForest, has been covering this story very closely, and he has the latest.
Well, Matt, I've got the dating violence injunction right here that's been issued against a sitting congressman. In deciding to issue this restraining order, the judge indicated that he believed the ex-girlfriend's version of events and does not believe Corey Mills. Mills, a Republican who represents parts of Orange, Seminole, Volusia, and Flagler counties, is accused of cyber-stalking his ex-girlfriend after they broke up last year. Now, Mills has adamantly denied her allegations. During this court hearing last month, Mills said that his ex-girlfriend was misconstruing text messages that he sent her and that he was simply trying to, quote, unwind their relationship that was coming to an end. But that ex-girlfriend, Lindsay Langston, tells a much different story. Langston, who is the reigning Miss United States and is also a GOP committee member, claims she repeatedly told Mills to leave her alone. But Langston says the congressman continued to send her frightening text messages, including one threatening to release nude images of her. Today, the judge sided with Langston and issued an injunction against Congressman Mills. That injunction prohibits Mills from committing violence. It also forbids Mills from having contact with Langston. In addition, the judge told Mills he is not allowed to make any references to his ex-girlfriend on social media. In his ruling, Columbia County Circuit Court Judge Fred Koberlin Jr. said, quote, the petitioner does have a reasonable cause to believe she's in imminent danger of becoming the victim of another act of dating violence without an injunction being entered. I have reached out to attorneys for both Mills and Langston. Neither side has commented yet about this injunction issued against the congressman. Reporting live in the newsroom, Mike DeForest, News 6.
So interesting now that you'll see injunctions out there about people who are not allowed to post on social media about other people in this case. So if you'll remember, we've reported on this show just this year in the past few months, Mills recently got evicted from his flashy penthouse, which was over 20 grand a month.
Flashy and costly.
It was very expensive, and apparently they claim he wasn't paying the bills. Cops were also called to that same address for a domestic incident with another woman who was not this young lady right here, which may have caused the downfall of that
There's been a lot happening with him lately. I would really like to hear from him. I don't know if he's going to ever sit down and talk to somebody about what, because there are two sides to every story. But this judge apparently, the reigning, is it Mrs.?
Okay, I always forget which it's because there's a million of them.
I know.
The reigning Miss United States.
Miss United States, yeah. So the judge obviously felt that she was in some imminent danger and issued this injunction, which we got this story. And I don't know if people out there who are watching right now realize how complicated this story is. And for Mike DeForest to get this after 4 o'clock today, and then it's our lead at 5, and to make it make sense.
And all it is documents. He's just sifting through documents, trying to pick out the relevant pieces of information.
If you want to see me faint, hand me documents and say, make this into something in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
at
it takes a
3:30 they hand you
yeah,
a
it really
fistful of
so
documents, and you're like,
honestly, not to toot our own horn or
"Toot his
Mike's
horn
horn,
all you
yeah,
want. He's good.
for
He's
sure.
the man."
And so it's one of those stories where there's going to be more to it, but honestly, the initial thing happened so long ago, we had forgotten about it because it feels like if someone's in imminent danger,
You would have given the injunction a
a
while ago.
lot
It took a
sooner.
while for this to all
Yeah,
come
yeah.
together.
So we'll figure out what's going on. We have been blessed with some beautiful weather this week, starting over the
been
weekend.
incredible.
But last week it was a completely different story. We had flooding and we had rain. And we had flooding not always because of the rain. We had flooding because there was that king tide that was going on as well. And a community that knows all too well about a lot of flooding is in Edgewater. And people live along the Indian River Lagoon. And it is one of those things where you love living near water. That's why a lot of us live in Florida. You want to see it and you want to be near it. But when you have things like flooding, hurricanes, tides that come into your home, that bring that water into your home, there's a young couple in Edgewater. Their home has been flooded some 3 times in the past year. That is a lot. And if you've ever seen flood damage in a house,
Oh yeah, I've
is it
seen
what
it.
can
I've
you
cut
do?
walls
Yeah,
where the
it's
line
just
is. Yeah.
our community correspondent Laverne McGee spoke with this couple and their plight.
I'm your community correspondent, Laverne McGee in Volusia County. Can you imagine buying your dream home and then finding out it's constantly facing flooding issues, even though it's not in a flood zone? This couple has all of their belongings out here because it flooded again.
To take everything out.
Everything.
Even the toilet.
To get the floor from underneath the toilet.
The toilet, carpet, appliances, and so much of the day's belongings are in their driveway being hauled off to the dump, all water damaged. On Friday, this young couple's home flooded, and this is the 3rd time since they bought it last March.
The water was up to here and flowing into the house.
Yeah, the water was like
Yes.
5-6 inches just flowing around.
The Edgewater house on Umbrella Tree Drive is not in a flood zone, but their home is on a lower elevation than the rest of the community. None of their neighbors are having such severe problems.
And whenever the canal fills up, all the water rushes in here.
They say it was not disclosed to them that there had been previous flooding issues.
Can't sell it, no one wants to buy it.
They have flood insurance, but it does not pay for everything, and it will take thousands of dollars to try to lift the foundation or break down the house and rebuild.
You can never be too safe. I mean, we weren't even in a flood zone, and now we know that it's very helpful to have flood insurance just in case, especially in the state of Florida.
Yeah, if I heard Laverne correctly, they have been in this house since last March, 7 months, and this is their 3rd flood. Good on them for having flood insurance, not knowing that they're not even in a flood zone, but they have flood insurance. And what people don't realize is that your homeowner's insurance will not help you with that.
No.
And the flood insurance doesn't even cover all of that. And it's worth it. We did the math like a little while ago, and it's not that much more expensive for flood insurance. It ends up being relatively cheap when you think about it.
Especially if you're not in a flood zone,
Yeah.
like they are,
Yeah.
it is that mitigates the price quite a bit. If you're closer to the water in Edgewater, you're probably going to get hit a little higher, but I've never heard of flood insurance. It's not like homeowners insurance that is
Yeah.
insanely high right now.
Yeah.
Flood insurance is much more reasonable and worth the cost if you
Oh my
ever have
gosh,
a
it really,
chance
but
to
I
get
feel like
flooded.
if you live in Florida, I mean, we're a state surrounded by water.
Yeah.
So-
we keep seeing these new developments pop up. And even if you were safe and dry for the last 30 years, one of those new developments comes, puts up concrete, drains
I was
down
going to
into
say,
you.
let me tell you what doesn't absorb water: concrete. It's a
So many
problem.
people have had that issue.
And there's several factors going on in this neighborhood and all across Florida, which is why we're seeing these stories pop up more often these days.
Here's a story you don't see pop up ever, except for this one right here. It started a month ago, in which a guy in a wetsuit goes to Disney Springs. If you're unfamiliar with the area, it's right near Disney. And it's
Hence
very
springs.
and there are no springs there, but it's all centered around this lake. It's a very pretty place, lots of posh places to eat and
Yeah, if you don't
shop
go to
and
the
all that.
parks, you can just kind of enjoy strolling, shopping, and having some lunch or dinner.
Yeah, it's really a lovely evening to go. But apparently there was this guy in a wetsuit who came right at the end of the night, just in the perfect time when
How
they
did you
happened
get
to
there,
be
Matt?
counting out the cash. And he got there, well, they think via wetsuit by swimming, because if you ever go to Disney Springs, it is locked down. There's a ton of security when you come in and when you leave. But if you left via waterway, you wouldn't have to deal with that. So very interesting Ocean's 11 kind of thing. This person, I would say guy, but we're not really sure because you can't see any part of them. They disappeared without a trace. They
This
got
is
away with
definitely a man move.
$20,000.
Yeah.
A lady could have possibly done this, but yeah, it was definitely a guy. Tonight, we're hearing the 911 calls from the incident, which gives us a little more insight into what happened that night. Take a listen.
He pushed us to the ground and put trash bags over us and taped our hands together. He came around the corner and saw us and rushed in. It was like he knew where it was.
Like he knew where it was.
Because it's on a different floor than where they were.
There he is.
Yeah.
He or she.
No, those are man hands.
He's got man hands. Look at the goggles. And just, you can't even see skin.
I'm just telling you, it took some time to put, if you've ever wiggled your way into a wetsuit, it takes, it is really uncomfortable.
Yeah, look for the person with the rash. But employees, they had trash bags put over their heads. They were forced to the ground.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was fully covered in that black clothing and spray painted the security cameras.
And he's still out there.
Knew right where the security cameras were too, Ginger. Knew the exact time to show up, had his intro and his outro, his exit timed and planned just right. Will they catch this guy? I don't know. It doesn't seem like they have a lot to go on at this point.
It is crazy. And I like how you say it's very Ocean's 11-y because George Clooney would never be caught in that. He'd be in a suit, he'd look good, and he'd do a much better job. But
you don't think he could pull off the spandex or the wetsuit?
I don't want him to pull that off. It's just, it looks like some kind of creature. I compared it to the creature from the Black Lagoon because it's kind of scary looking. But I'm glad that no one got hurt because it could have gone sideways. It really could have gone sideways.
The guy had a weapon.
It doesn't
He showed
matter.
up looking like that.
Yeah.
And they just decided, take whatever you want.
Or
dude.
people might just pick up a chair and start you don't know how people are going to react in a moment of panic or in fear. So
if that guy showed up in this newsroom right now, I would
definitely
hand you over willingly. All right, we've got a lot more coming for you. In fact, this guy who created this structure in his backyard made out of shipping containers, the neighbors aren't having it. He got permission. The permission was revoked. It's an amazing story.
You tell us if you see the problem when we show it to
He
you.
finally let us into his crib after the break.
Yeah, and he got the link from the sheriff just a little while ago, I think. So we'll make sure we have that for News 6 tonight. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy, but news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
That's right. And this is News 6 Tonight, where we leverage this entire busy newsroom with our community correspondents, our producers, our content desk, and then we filter through that. We have a casual conversation about the news that impacts Central Florida.
Yeah, we live here in the community, and we rely on you for our neighborhood network because you're our eyes and ears as well, and we can't do it without you.
So you can watch us all over the place, YouTube, News 6 Plus app, and clickorlando.com. While you're here, feel free to engage. Let us know who you are and where you're from.
Hey, welcome back to News 6 Tonight, Tuesday edition. Thank you so much for sticking around with us as we deliver some of the more interesting headlines you may have heard about and just want a little bit more information. This story is so interesting to me because our James Barbero, he has covered Brevard County for almost a decade now, I think. And when you talk about somebody who is very persistent and does not give up and will pursue something until the end of the line. It's James. He has been trying to talk to this gentleman, we're going to show you in a second, for 2 straight years now. It's almost like a routine. It's like he wakes up, let's see if he wants to talk today.
At least once a month, he sends this guy a message.
At
Hey,
least.
you ready?
Yeah,
Ready to
exactly. And
talk?
finally, today was the day. The guy we're talking about, his name is Joe Trask. He lives in Brevard County. He has shipping containers built into what we are calling.
Not just one, not
He's
a
got-
one-story shipping container.
Imagine a
2 stories.
double wide on top, like it's stacked high, though.
Right.
And so the neighbors were complaining because they don't want to see it they don't want it in their view.
Mhm.
Right? Because he built it up high, they can see it. So they wake up every morning, they're like, oh, that thing is still there. And he got approval to put it up. And he was supposed to change it a little bit, though. And James actually got a tour inside. And I have to say, we were both, I know I was surprised.
Ginger wanted to move into this.
I didn't, but let's take a look at our community correspondent, James Barbero, and Mr. Trask giving him a tour of this place.
For the first time in 2 years, I'm with Joe Traska, the homeowner who built this. Joe, for 2 years, we've been calling it a man cave. You say it was supposed to be more like a pool house. That was the original plan?
Yeah, I wanted something off my pool to reuse recyclable materials and shipping containers, and it turned into a mess.
The back and forth, the county claiming you violated code.
County code unambiguously prohibits the stacking of shipping containers.
You're still sticking to your stance that you say you did everything correctly, right?
Yeah, it took a couple $1,000s to get a permit, and after I had them craned into place, everybody was upset about it, and I'm not going to take it down at my expense. The Constitution will prevail.
Can you show us another angle while I'm back here? Give us a different look at it.
You want to go up top and take a look up top? We can go up there?
Let's do it.
All right.
Well, Joe, as I expected, since you haven't been able to work on this in 2 years, it's pretty barren here.
Yep. It's going to look really nice when it's done, if it ever gets done. As a property owner, I was wrong to ask permission. I got permission.
I asked the county for a comment about the battle in court. It told me it won't be settled for probably a couple more months.
And you can bet James will have whatever the settlement is. I have to say, looking at it, even unfinished, and I know I don't live next to it, so
it's easy for you to say.
It is, but it's not what I thought it was. He's done a nice job of making it look neat.
It looks like 4 shipping containers.
The way it
spliced
was angled,
together,
right? Yeah.
angled.
I like that he's using recyclable materials and something that will not be in, a trash heap. And he's made it look kind of nice.
Well, I think he's been kept from making it look nicer
Mhm.
because if you see it, the color's not great. I wouldn't want that structure necessarily within view of my backyard.
Sure.
But imagine if he made that like a nice looking gray or black or something or maybe something that blends in with his property better,
Yeah.
puts a few accents on there, the doors and windows. I think it could be kind of nice looking.
Okay, home improvement.
I'm just saying, I'll help him if he needs a little. I know
little
we've got the
advice.
handy newsman in here somewhere who would be very helpful with that. Not terrible. The thing about his plight that does bother a lot of people, he put in for this.
Yeah.
He got the permit. It
Mhm.
got approved. And
Yeah.
then when the neighbors complained,
They're
they
like,
looked at it and they said, oh, actually, it says you're not allowed to stack shipping containers.
But
He
they
says,
approved it that way.
and he says that's for a shed. And he says, this is not a shed. This is my pool house. I bet you could do a lot of cool things with it. I hope he invites me over for a poker night if that thing ever happens.
Well, Mr. Traska, we are going to be watching the story and following it. And I just hope that we can come to some sort of resolution that makes him happy and he can still get along with his neighbors as well. But
yeah, and he paid a lot of money. I mean, it is not cheap. Those shipping containers
No,
are
they're not.
thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Then to hire a crane to come
To
in
come
and
and move
stack
it.
them just
Yeah.
right on top
Yeah.
of each other. I mean, that man
they
has
have to
spent.
have that dismantled, perhaps. I can see why he's fighting it.
Yeah.
It's going to cost a lot of money. That stuff's not free. All right, so we'll continue to follow that plight
Yeah.
as well.
All right, let's talk about some weather. We have our
Yes.
meteorologist, Jonathan Kegas, joining us. I mean, it's been incredible. I took a walk today.
What?
Can you believe that? I just went, I saw it outside, dropped the kids off at school, had a little time and said, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk. And I went like 3 or 4 miles. It was
The
great.
next he's going to be telling us he read poetry later.
Whoa, come on now. That's not going to happen.
So
Okay.
good.
Too far.
No.
Too far.
So good.
It's so nice.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I think we're keeping it for the bulk of the week. Once we get into tomorrow, there's going to be like a stray shower opportunity. We're going to shift our winds again back off the Atlantic. So really, if you live along the coast, you have a 10% shot of getting a quick hitting downpour. Otherwise, it's the same kind of feel for the rest of the work week coming up. We're going to focus a little bit on that tonight at 9:30. The bigger thing is every Tuesday, the Climate Prediction Center comes out with their areas that they like to highlight in the tropical world, really. So you see the entire world map here, but we are focused on the right-hand side of the screen here. I'll bring my handy dandy.
Where'd you get that
out.
map from 1983?
Right here. This is our federal government. So if you want to ship out some more tax dollars to help pimp it out a little bit more, go right ahead. But anyway, this is for the 22nd through the 28th. And you see that red shaded area right on in through there. So that's a greater than that's a greater than 40% shot for tropical development. Now, that is all because of this tropical wave that is moving off of Africa right now. So there's something out there to track. The Hurricane Center doesn't have it highlighted yet because it's outside of the 7 days that they highlight things. I'm sure over the next 24 to 48 hours, we are going to get one of those bubbles there. The thing of it is that there's so many outcomes of what happens with this. It's riding so low, it might just run into South America, and then that's it.
Oh, wow. It could do that. You don't
like
see that too often.
Look how low it is.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's running due west. The thing with these that come off low is they're near the equator. They don't gain as much latitude, as we call it. So they have a tendency to curve away from land when they come off higher. But the lower they go, they don't really have that curvature of the Earth, the Coriolis effect. So things are going to keep on going west to east, closer to the equator. So when you're further north, you feel that Coriolis effect more. So that helps to get those things up and out of here. Not the case again. So it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, it's going to come further west, but maybe it runs into the rainforest and gives it some beneficial rain. And we're done talking about this thing. So we're going to talk a lot about that and a lot about what models you should not be looking at.
Oh,
There's some crazy stuff out there.
I love when Jonathan goes off on some of the influencers, also known as people who just have a phone.
Yeah. I like when Kagas lets his hair down. There's a mullet back there, and he'll just shake it off and start.
I need to have like a fake mullet because I wish
you should. You should put that on when you rant against the crazy.
I'm looking on Amazon right now.
Oh, you can get anything on Amazon. It'll be here before your 9:30 show. Yeah.
I like it. Jonathan Kagas, thank you so much. Check him out. Coming up at 9.
Stay with us. One of my favorite stories is coming up. It really is. I love when we can find solutions to things that we caused. Problems.
By we mean smart people have found a good solution.
Yeah, we're going to tell you how earthworms are helping us recycle when we come back.
Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart. Also good looking because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down below.
Gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh. Welcome back to News 6 Tonight. If you've stuck with us this long, all of it is about to pay off. All of Ginger's rambling is about to totally, the big payoff.
Why do you have
is
to make
here.
me your target every night?
I don't know, because
Not
you're like
cool.
my sister.
Not
Well,
cool.
Stalker, you are the modern day Pam Saulsby. You know who that is?
I don't know who Pam Saulsby
All right, Rel
is.
Stalker, let us know what that reference is. Good to have you tonight, Rel
Maybe
Stalker.
I do.
One of the big issues on this giant spinning rock in space that we have these days is what do we do with all the plastic garbage
So much.
that we're creating? Well, local company is using a very complex process involving earthworms to try to turn it into great organic, usable soil. Here's community correspondent Paul Giorgio with that story.
It's a mixture of chemistry and biology and manufacturing and plant science and biology again, but microbiology.
Baker and a group of childhood friends
I met Tyler in high school, Hayden in high school.
started Wiggle Brew, an all-natural organic fertilizer company.
Here are a whole bunch of the earthworms.
They feed food waste to
You can
earthworms
see them wriggling around right there.
and turn it into soil and fertilizer.
Now we have a sustainable organic fertilizer. One of these bottles is more than enough to feed an entire garden.
But the team has their sights on an even
way
bigger
better looking.
project.
So we start with material like these plastic bags.
They've developed a process to replace the food waste with plastic.
There's a way to destroy plastic and turn it into organic fertilizer. And it relies on the same mechanism we use to make our fertilizer, which is worms.
They melt things like plastic bags and styrofoam in this steel chamber, breaking it down into its core organic elements.
If you put this out in the ground, it'll take 800 years or more for this to break down. It will last forever.
But Wiggle Brew speeds up the process.
It converts it from one big chemical into lots of small chemicals.
Small enough to then feed to the worms, who turn it into organic matter or soil.
But to destroy, the plastic problem that we have in Florida, you would need billions and billions of worms. Fortunately, they're very easy to scale.
Love that idea. We need more of them
Yeah,
like that.
that is for sure. Great job, Paul Giorgio. I call him our modern day, our local Steve Hartman from CBS News. Oh, the payoff is always going to be there.
Always good
Yeah.
stuff. Thank you for watching News 6 Tonight. Have yourself a great evening. Get some rest, and we will see you tomorrow at 9.
Or 10 tonight.